in the organization,
Yeah.
what is the sense of the particular reusable code organization and all those things you're using the user syntax that has been covered.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. So, and also we discussed about the syntax of the reusable workflows, how you can call, and input sections also we discussed how you can pass inputs from one workflow to another workflow, and like what are the like different options inside the input sections. You can set the input section as required false or required true to set the mandatory fields. Like just like if you are filling a form, there are some red star marks, right? Which indicates that those are mandatory things that you need to fill. So similarly, in input sections, we have a required field where you can turn it off on or off using true and false. And also discussed the best ways to write your workflows with a sample example, real world example. So in today's class, we will talk about the custom actions. So, like technically, reusable workflows and custom actions are uh, both are not. I mean, both are not similar, but those are like both are usable. Like where we use the existing piece of code, where you just make use of the functionality. But the difference between reusable and the custom action is so reusable workflows where you can call one workflow from another workflow, but in custom action it is way more flexible where you can call the function anywhere in our steps, anywhere in our workflows. Wherever you are, you can simply call the custom action. So that kind of flexibility you get. Where in custom action as well, in custom action as well, where you can reusable pieces of code that you can like that you created some kind of functionality and then you placed the reusable workflows. So generally, custom actions, right? Like I showed you in the marketplace, we have multiple custom actions available that are verified. Those are like unverified. So we need to very careful when selecting custom action in our workflows and carefully select the one that is verified one. So, so in custom actions as well, you basically um, define all the steps required to function, I mean, to consume some functionality. So you write custom actions only if the custom action, if the functionality that you are trying to create is not available in the marketplace, then you write custom actions. So writing custom actions is just a normal way. I mean, most of the companies will have multiple use cases, and they have multiple use cases, multiple functions. They will use across multiple CI/CD pipelines, right? For example, if there is a step to log in into AWS login. So this AWS login is a common step that we use across workflows. You use this AWS login across workflows. If that traditionally, if the organizations they are deploying the things to AWS, obviously first they have to log in into the AWS, and then AWS login steps they will use across workflows. So what if you can make this AWS login function centralized in the sense, what if you can keep those again? So we keep those, so these kind of setup we keep in the DevOps repos. So in DevOps repo, so in DevOps repo, like I told earlier, for workflows you keep .github/workflows, right? For the custom actions, you keep .github/actions folder. So inside the actions, you will create a folder called AWS login, and then you write action.yml. So this is a place that you place the custom actions. So while calling this custom action, you don't actually call this full path because you just call till here, till AWS login. GitHub will automatically find action.yml file inside the AWS login. So that we can't rename some other name. So the default naming convention that you can give is action.yml that you place inside .github/actions. And this is the folder you call. So till here you call. So what will be the inside the action.yml? It's just a normal steps, normal workflow steps that you write. But one thing that you guys must be, know, like keep in mind that so in action.yml, you will see a component called composite, which indicates that it is a custom action. So just like in the reusable workflows, whenever you are calling the reusable workflow, you might have seen definition called workflow call on the beginning of the workflow, which indicates that it is a reusable workflow. Similarly, for the action.yml, you will see a component called composite, which indicates that it is a custom actions. So what other benefits you get using Fuse custom action? You can reuse the functionality, and then one other benefit is we we can publish this custom action to GitHub Marketplace as well. I'll also show you at the end of the demo how you can create your own custom action and how you can publish this custom action to the GitHub Marketplace. And if you publish to the GitHub Marketplace, anyone from the world can use these custom actions. Anyone can use these custom actions on their workflows. So other important thing, whenever you want to publish the action to GitHub Marketplace, so the repository, wherever you are keeping the action.yml, the repository should be public. So the repository should be public. So then only you will see an option under releases, all published to GitHub Marketplace. So this is like traditional standard, standard steps that suggested by GitHub, where if you want to publish your custom action to the marketplace, make sure you set the repository as public, and then you will be able to see under releases, you will see an option called publish to GitHub Marketplace. So while publishing GitHub Marketplace, so inside the custom.yml file, you will have to define some parameters like name, other, and few other parameters, which I'll show you shortly. So there like while writing custom actions, there are different types. So the first type is JavaScript, and second type is Docker container, and the third type is composite actions. So like I was talking about, if you see action.yml inside if you see composite inside action.yml, which indicates that it is a composite actions. For JavaScripts and containers, like depending upon the use case, we use these two custom actions where for the JavaScript, you write custom action in the JavaScript. If someone is familiar with the JavaScript and he will write his own JavaScript custom action. But like there is also called Docker container custom actions, where if you want to run some test in specific environments, where if you want to do some security scannings, so that time, like for example, for any complex dependencies, for those scenarios, we write custom actions in Docker format, where they write Docker file, all the scenarios. But in my project, we use composite actions because it is simple, where you just define the path that I showed here, and then inside that action.yml. So you write all the required steps. And one benefit for the composite action is where you can define multiple steps, where you can also define multiple shell steps. in the sense you can define steps like bash inside your flow, and you can also define PowerShell scripts. So you can, during the consumption of the action.yml, you can toggle these bash PowerShell based on the runner. So like I was talking, so the basic structure for custom action is you write the custom action and place it in .github slash workflows slash action slash folder name slash action.yml. So this is the general syntax, and it's not like fixed syntax. If you want to organize all of your custom actions, then you can place this, or you can also place the action.yml in the root directly itself, where the folder of your custom action will be the repo name. So whenever you call the repo, it will, like, the GitHub Actions will automatically look for the action.yml. So let's not waste most of the time. Let's go into the demo because that gives you more practical knowledge. Let me open my GitHub account. So I already created the repository, but let's do it from the scratch for you guys to be able to understand. But before we start, let's understand what we're trying to do now in this demo. So what this demo for the custom action that I'm trying to do is, so my requirement is I want to write a custom action to upload object to S3 bucket. So whenever you want to write a custom action to upload the S3 bucket, there are some prerequisites that you need to know, like where you need to know the access key or secret key for your AWS account. So these secrets, where do you store? Can someone tell me where we have to store these secrets? Anyone of you?
In the environment section, that secret variable.
Perfect. Yeah, like since we don't have multiple environments, for now we will keep it in the repository secrets. Yeah, you are right. Yes, Rama, you are right. So that, like, the best way to store your secure, sensitive informations like AWS access keys, secret keys, API tokens, um, also any Sonar Cube tokens, Sneak or TV tokens, everything we should keep with the repository secrets or organization secrets. So this way you will securely store your credentials. So my first prerequisite is to like uh, upload the access key and secret keys on the GitHub secrets. So once that is done, so what are other prerequisites is I need a repo to place the custom action, or like you can keep it in the DevOps repository, or you can create, for now I'll create in the same repository. So once you have like the folder repo or folder for the custom actions, so you need to call this custom action from the workflows. So all the custom actions once you created, so these custom actions you think of like a function. So in your workflows you can call these functions. So in workflows you call these functions during user section. So this is the standard steps that I will follow now. So let's go to the GitHub first. So let's go to the organization first. go to repository. Let's create a repository. So let's name the repository as custom action S3. So like in the last sessions, we don't see the visibility of the repository. Like we now have enabled the 30 days free trial of enterprise GitHub account. So that's why I'm seeing the internal options for the repository. So you also have public and private. So let's keep as internal as well as it is. So let's make the README file enable and then create a repository. So once you create the repository, so you basically get a plain stuff. So what I'm trying to do now is I'll create a file called github slash actions slash AWS S3. Like just name of the folder slash action.ym. So this is the path. So let's copy the content of action.yml, which I already have. So this is the, I'll explain anyway. So this is the custom action steps. So like I was talking about in the demo, I mean the theoretical, so where you will see an option called using composite, which indicates that it is a custom action written in the composite style. So yeah, let's make a commit. Like make a commit. So now we have created a custom action. So you need to also create a workflow inside this repository. Like right now you have the .github folder. So what I will do, right? I'll go inside .github and then I'll add a file. First I will, okay. Go inside .github, add a file, workflow slash workflow. Let's copy this workflow steps. Okay, keep it as this. So I think I have copied the wrong one. Sorry, I have copied the wrong one. This is the one I have to sub. Okay. Okay. So let's see this. You have the workflow, which is the trigger type is on push, and then you have a job section that runs on Ubuntu latest. So first I'm checking out the code, the runner, and then I'm calling the custom action that is available in this repository. So let's open that custom action on the other tab. So this is the action.yml. So this custom action in YAML file is available inside the current directory. So that's why you are calling .github slash action slash. So this repo name, the folder name is S3 upload, but I have created with AWS-S3. So let's change that AWS-S3. So whenever you are calling a custom actions, there are some fields that you need to pass to the custom actions. So if you go to the custom actions, so you have the name, the description, and you also have a few inputs. So for this custom actions, the functionality of this custom action is to upload a object. Object is nothing but a simple file to the S3 bucket. So I'm passing the file, but also the setting the parameter as true, which indicates that it is a mandatory field that you need to pass. And then the bucket name, where I have to upload the file. And then I also passing the AWS region, access key and secret key. So one thing that you need to understand is in custom actions, you cannot define a secret name directly. You have to pass via a parameters where you first assign first you will create a variable and then you pass it via secrets dot access key. Similar for the secret access key. So custom actions will not support directly defining the secrets. You cannot call directly inside a custom action. So the way you have to pass is you have to pass under with, and then you have to consume using input sections. So wherever like this action, like inside this action, you are also using another custom action, marketplace action, which is a verified one. So where you are trying to log in into the AWS account. This is the step that will does. So in order to log into the AWS accounts, you need access key and the secret key. And also obviously the reason where you want to log in that you have to pass. And then the next step is to upload the S3 bucket. So where you are basically using AWS CLI command to copy the bucket to the S3 bucket. So this is the custom action functionality. So let's make a push. So let's make a push like what? Obviously the workflow will fail. I'll tell you why it will fail. Go to the actions. Started running. Go inside the step. So we are able to call the custom action. But it says credentials could not be loaded. Please check your action inputs could load. So it would while during the AWS login, we are like it is failing basically. It is unable to fetch the credentials. Let's see whether we have created the credentials or not. See, we don't have credentials created here. So let's create a credentials. So make sure you define the correct credentials name. So access key I'm trying to create now. So I'm just stopping my screen just to hide my access key and some secret keys. So let me share it again. So these are the two secrets that I have created now. One is the AWS access key and the other is AWS secret key. So now I have created the repository secrets. So now if you go inside the actions, now if I go inside the workflows, so the way you can rerun the workflow is rerun jobs. So you can run all the jobs at a time, or you can run only the failed jobs. Right now I have only one job. So I'll just rerun all the jobs. I'll go inside the workflow. So meanwhile, I log in into the AWS account. Let it run first. So now we got another error. So it says, so the file that we are trying to upload is not available in my repository. So let's create a dummy file. Let's create a file build.ml and add some content like. So I created a file. So as soon as you commit the changes, the workflow is started triggering because you have like the workflow trigger as on push. So if you go inside the workflow, so let it run. Before that, I'll show the S3 bucket that I have. So this is the S3 bucket I have. So the file is already available. Let's delete it quickly before it published. So let's go inside the workflow. I think it's published. So this workflow I ran yesterday night. That's why. Deleted. Anyway, let's rerun this again. So like if you see the workflow is ran successfully. If you see custom action that this is the custom action that we have used, where you will see you are trying to call .github's actions AWS S3 custom actions, where you are passing these parameters to the custom actions, the bucket name, reason, access key, and secret keys. And then inside, like these are the steps inside the custom actions where you are first logging into AWS account and then you are copying the files. So let's rerun the same workflow. Right now, if you see the AWS account, AWS S3 bucket, we don't have any object here. If you go back to the repository, so this is like this ran successfully, where it will first check out the code and then we are able to call the custom action dot github's actions AWS S3. And then inside that, first we are trying to log in into AWS account using these parameters, and then you are trying to copy the file. So let's rerun this. So I have triggered now manually by running the workflows. See, it is like able to log in, it is able to complete the steps, basically the upload one to this S3 bucket. If you go inside the S3 bucket, if you refresh it, the bucket, you will see a build.yml. So in real-time scenarios, you upload the artifacts to the centralized location in S3. Like S3, some of the companies they use Nexus and different tools. But if you are most of the work, if you are doing on AWS, so all the stuff, all the binaries, dependencies, everything we try to push to the S3 buckets. So now this is simple file, but in reality, you push it, a GIF file, a bundle, anything you will push to the build.yml. But the core functionality is what I'm trying to show you is the custom action, how you can create, how you can call, how you can make a call. How like the different parameters that you can pass to the custom action. So all these if you know the functionality, so writing the logic, everything is a matter of minutes because we have the AI tools that gives the all the steps required. So it's just like it's a matter of making those steps reviewed and making those steps start testing end to end and convert those to functional. Functional in the sense so anything that provided by AI agents, so we have to carefully review those lines and make those code into functionality, which means it's running up and running and it is providing and then you have to make sure that it solves your functionality or your requirement. So, but the root part that you need to understand is the way you create a custom action and then call it. So now we were able to create a custom action. We're able to call the custom action from the workflows. So now what we will do now, right? So we will publish this custom action to the GitHub marketplace. So first thing that I'm trying to do is I'm changing the visibility of this custom action, basically the repository to public first. So it is asking the access side. Let me give that. So I change the repository to public. I think I started doing a big. So this is like for the enterprise users. So there's a default step that GitHub will run on behalf of us, where it will analyze the code, but let's not debug into more in this. So now I have changed the repository public. So right now you have the custom action in the action AWS S3, which is specific to your, you keep things organized. So that's why you keep it in your specific folders. But for the marketplace to accept the custom actions, so you have to keep inside a root folder. So where you will directly straight away create a document.yml, and then let's not make this as pro because we have to do some changes. Let's go to this custom action. Yeah, let's do this. So this is the like another repository that I have, which is public. And then you have the action.yml. So the S3 upload functionality, you like some of you, or if you guys get time, you like I'll share the repository content. So you guys try to publish that action to the marketplace. I'm not going to do that. But like how you do, I'll show this in this example. But for you guys, like the task that I'm giving you is to publish the custom action that I showed you in the previous demo, to the like try to push that to GitHub marketplace. So but this custom action, so this repository, I have make it, I mean, I already have a public. So I have like kept my functionality, the function in the root folder. So the way I have defined this custom action is, so from here, everything is remains same, all the input section, everything. So that like for the publishing to the GitHub marketplace, there are a few things that you need to define. One is the name, description, and the other, basically your name or your organization, and the branding, just like the icon, uh, and then the color, how it should look, your custom action on the UI. These are like UI specific things, and GitHub recommended parameters that you pass to push it to the GitHub marketplace. So once you have this marketplace, I mean, once you have the repository and you once you have the action.yml in the root folder, so you have to create a release. But let's delete the existing one, which I already have. I'm making sure that I don't have any tags created. So I'm deleting everything. I'm trying to create from the scratch. So first thing I have to do whenever you want to push your custom action to the GitHub marketplace, you have to create a release. Create a release. So now you see an option called publish this action to the GitHub marketplace. So click on this. So it will automatically validate on your behalf, where it says everything looks good. You have all the required information. So basically, these are the parameters that is required for the custom action. So the README file is exist, and these are all like the common, I mean, small categories like sections that you need to select the functionality, the category. So I'm just keeping as it is. So I'm trying to create a tag v1 from the main, and then clicking on generate release notes, it will automatically create a release notes for me. So, and then publishing is clicking on publish. So now, like I have created this and published. So let's go to marketplace. I don't know whether it is created or not, but let's go to the marketplace. So the way you have to search is go to inside the workflow, I mean action.yml, and search with this name. See, there is an option, I mean the action that is available. So if you see here, right, so I have like defined, GitHub will automatically pick up how you can consume the workflow. I mean, how you can consume the custom action. If you see, whoever from the other repositories, other workflows, if they want to use my custom actions, the way they have to call is using uses my organization name and the workflow name. I mean, basically it's the repository name and then the version. So if you call this, You don't have to call action.yml directly. So you simply have to call the organization and the folder where you have your custom action. So if you call this way, you can consume, yeah, like the others, whoever created the functionality of the specific use case, so they can use that custom actions. So always, like if you see, I don't have the green tick mark or blue tick mark, but if you see the actual other custom actions published by officially by partners, you see an icon called, see this tick mark, which is a blue tick mark, which means that it is a proper verified one, which is like the secure way where you can use this custom actions. So likewise, you have to make use of the actions that are verified or not just a random provided custom action. So, so right now, so just to recap, we have to make the, if you want to publish your custom actions to the marketplace, the first thing is the repo should be public, and then you have to define the action.yml in the root, and then you have to create a release, and then during the release, you click on publish to GitHub Marketplace, and then you select all the required parameters, and then publish to the GitHub Marketplace. So also keep in mind that you inside the action.yml file, you have to define all these parameters required for the action, for the marketplace to accept your actions. So like if so right now it's a dummy one, it's just a normal one that we publish, which is like don't have soul in this action.yml. So if you guys get some time, so what's I'm trying, I mean I'm giving a task to you is to like this the custom action we have created, right? Where it will upload to S3 bucket. So make this custom action public, I mean publish to the GitHub marketplace. So once you published, consume the custom action from your actual workflow. For example, so right now this custom action is in my work, current folder, and then I'm using this custom action from the workflow.yml. So, but your task is to publish the custom action to the marketplace and then use that custom action inside this usage section. So right now, since it is in current directory, we are calling .github action. But if it is available in the marketplace, the way you have to access is, so basically access it using this parameter instead of .github. I'll just show you. So the way you have to access is using this. So this way you are making use of the private custom action available in the marketplace, and then you are making use of functionality. I'll also make sure that your custom action is accept these parameters. So yeah, I think for now, for Monday, this is enough for you guys. So if you guys having any doubts, let's have the discussion now.
Hi Surya, this is Charan.
Yeah, hi Charan.
So basically, whatever the workflows we ran, so once we publish it to the marketplace, they will become as artifacts, right?
Correct.
Anyone
Yeah,
can download.
correct.
Yeah.
Not download exactly. Anyone can call
They can use,
inside the.
yeah, they can use, they
Yes,
can call the workflow, right? Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay. So like, so I am SDET Surya basically. So what we do is like we run the test cases only in the GitHub. So basically using the runner job. So like we don't push it to any marketplace. So like whenever we run the test cases, I want to move it to the some of the integration tools like any like I want like there is something like a test library. I want to whatever which run from the GitHub Actions, it should update their like pass or fail like even that we can do with these workflows.
Yeah, we can do that. We can toggle everything.
Acha, okay, sir. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. Any question from anyone? So any doubts for the assignment that I just showed you? If you guys, if like I need someone like any one of you for tomorrow's class to show that to everyone. I'll provide the repository, so you guys don't need to worry. You just have to make few clicks. That's it. You can publish that to a custom action. So I need a volunteer from you for tomorrow's session to show the demo before we start the actual session, and just try to explain what you have done. So any doubts during for the assignment you have, or any other questions, clarity, concerns that you have? Okay, then we'll wrap it up. So I'm looking forward for you. I mean, any one of you, any one of yours demos, tomorrow's demos. I'll share all the required documents, everything, repository details, everything for you guys to able to do that assignment properly. Yeah. Okay, guys. Have a good, have a long good weekend. I mean weekdays. I see you guys tomorrow. Happy Monday, guys. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Surya. Bye.
Bye bye.